To use the POS system, the taxpayer will log into IRS using a valid registration number and password. Click on Login button to proceed ahead. Once logged in, from the menu on the left-hand side, select Invoice Management. From the next screen, select IRMS Reports. On this screen, the taxpayer can view the history and details of all of the invoices updated in the system so far. Either use the check boxes or filter option to jump to the respective invoice. Here, you can see the fields of invoice type, registration number, invoice date, FBR invoice number, retail invoice number, sale value, tax charge, and risks involved. Use any of these to jump to the respective invoice. Talking about the risks, it is important to note that there are a total of 8 risks involved in the POS system.
Risk criteria has been included which will identify invoices with anomaly. For example, invoices having negative, duplicate, exceptionally large value or wrong sales tax value, including non-real-time or delayed invoices. These are potential areas of invoices which involve tax risk.
Once you have entered your FBR invoice number, click on Search button to proceed. You will get to see the respective invoice under this section. Double-click and the buttons of Modify and Discard will be enabled. The taxpayer will use the options of Modify and Discard only if there are some risks marked on the invoice or if it is other than risky and taxpayer just wants to make some corrections in the respective invoice. The discard button allows you to discard the entire invoice, whereas clicking on Modify button will allow you to modify a respective item out of the invoice. From the item list, select the respective item which you want to modify and fill in the modification fields. Please note that all the fields are mandatory and needs to be filled. Moreover, on the top of the page, in the attachment section, the top 2 attachments are mandatory. Please note that attachments can only be uploaded in the form of PDF. Once you have attached the required attachments and filled in the information for modification, click on Submit button to proceed ahead. Once you have submitted your application, on the dashboard you will be able to see that your application has been sent for approval to the tax officer. Now, the tax officer will either accept or reject the application from the other end. The concerned tax officer will log into IRS using the respective credentials. Once logged in, from the menu on the left-hand side, click on MIS. The next screen will show you the available options. Select the first option of modification discard requests. The next screen will show you the history of all the available requests. The tax officer can look for the request from the list or use the filters to jump to the respective request. Upon double-clicking on the request, the history of the request can be viewed. The details include modified invoice and original invoice. Now, it is up to the tax officer to either accept or reject the request. To accept the respective request, the tax officer will click on Accept button. In the open dialog box, relevant remarks will be added and the request will be accepted. On the other hand, the taxpayer can view the request as accepted and no more changes can be made to the respective item. In case otherwise, if the request is rejected, relevant marks again will be added by the tax officer, and on the other hand, the taxpayer can review the item once again.